a single barrel for under $30, we're going to review Benchmark Single Barrel 95 Proof. Now, if you've been watching my videos for a while, you know that I'm a huge fan of the Benchmark Full Proof 125 Proof. Not because it's the greatest bottle ever created, but rather because it's always my top best bang for the buck recommendation, 125 Proof. This is about $23 in New Jersey, Buffalo Trace product. Really can't beat it. I talked this one up a lot. It was the first review I ever did on TikTok over 2 years ago, and I've done several reviews and blind comparisons with this before. But I really haven't spoken much about this. This is the third highest proof in the Benchmark lineup. The Full Proof is the highest at the 125. Then there's the Bonded. That is the only Benchmark product I cannot find here in New Jersey, but I may be ordering it just to try it out. And then there's this one. I tried this initially when Benchmark first came to New Jersey. I had seen it in Florida, and I remember having it, and it was okay. Maybe I liked it better than the lower proof. The top floor. Actually, I thought the top floor at the time was okay. The small batch maybe impressed me probably the least, and of course the Benchmark Old Number 8, the regular 80 proof is just pretty much like water. But I do think it's honestly really maybe good for beginners. But I didn't really give this one much attention. Now this is the most expensive in the Benchmark line at $27, at least here in New Jersey. That's generally the price I see. It's a lower proof, 95 proof versus $23 for this one, but it is a single barrel. And as far as I know, I don't know too many single barrels that are this price or lower, at least not by me. The next closest price I know of a single barrel is the Evan Williams annual release, their single barrel, which is vintage dated, which I actually am going to be reviewing very shortly also. But for $27, and I guarantee you this is here, $27, it's probably lower in other places, but it is definitely the most expensive, I believe, of the Benchmark line because it's a single barrel. But again, I think for that price, it certainly is worth taking a closer look at. So I'm going to be I got this bottle, and I haven't had this in a while. Going to give it a shot. Going to compare it to the Full Proof. And what it is it's aged 4 years. It's, again, part of the Buffalo Trace. This is their budget line. It is the younger version of what becomes Buffalo Trace, what becomes Eagle Rare. It's the mash bill number 1, the low rye mash bill. So this is about aged 4 years approximately. So if you could compare, their single barrels, you think about an EHT, E.H. Taylor, single barrel, different warehouse, the same juice in a different warehouse for a bunch more years and a little more quality control, it could become that. So we're going to crack this one open. I'm going to see how this tastes, and I'm going to give it a kind of a new look because I think I focus so much on this one. I'd like to try this one out, especially since its price is just kind of ridiculous for a single barrel. Here we go. Screw top. Okay, we have it all poured up. That was a nice screw top, not a cork pop. All the Benchmarks are screw tops, which is fine. And just to state the obvious, a single barrel means that everything in here is from one barrel, as opposed to this, the Full Proof and the other Benchmarks, which are blends from multiple barrels. So, in theory, the single barrel that I had, 2 or 3 years ago, and the only other one I've had of this, could be different, even ever so slightly, since that was a different barrel. It's like basically these are, you're just single barrels. It doesn't say a barrel number. It doesn't say anything. Just kind of like you think about the Russell's Reserve single barrel, not the store picks, the regular Russell's Reserve single barrels. It says single barrel. It doesn't give you any information on the barrel. It's just that. It's kind of what this is. So let's go into this. It's got decent color. Again, this is 4 years old. Let's keep that in mind. It's the younger Buffalo Trace product. Very nice on the nose. I'm getting very nice caramel, traditional, which I always think of when I think of Buffalo Trace, and a lot of very traditional bourbon smells and tastes. But I'm getting a whole lot of caramel and not crazy with ethanol. Cheers. That's not bad. I mean, there is a Benchmark. There's a taste, I kind of call it a mixture of just a Benchmark taste and a Buffalo Trace. Buffalo Trace has a very unique, profile. All of its products I find have something similar that links them all together. But when I taste the Benchmark, there is a younger taste to it. There definitely is, because it is younger. It's a younger version of Buffalo Trace. And for some reason, I find, and I'm going to taste this in a minute, when I drink the full proof at that high proof, it just kind of all gets erased. Or a lot of it does. It doesn't taste complex. It's not as complex as a Stag. We blinded this against a Stag, but it is, it definitely kind of erases some of the youngness at that proof. This, I still taste a little bit of that, but let's give this another taste. Clearly a Buffalo Trace product. Now, no, in theory, as it says on here, these are taken from only the best barrels. So only the best barrels at an age of 4 years old. So at that age, they feel these are certain barrels that are the best of those, and that's where these come from. So I think it's good. I think I still like the full proof better. Let's put them side by side. Okay, so we have the Benchmark full proof poured up here. Okay, that's interesting. I am actually, in terms of the nose, I'm getting kind of more caramel coming out of the 95 proof single barrel than the full proof. But you know there's just more, there's more oomph in this one. Let me just taste the full proof. Yeah, there's just a lot to this full proof. Okay, I mean, pretty much it's kind of this. For me, myself, I wanted to kind of come back to this, and now I kind of realize why. I was okay with it, but it wasn't like, I wasn't over the moon with this thing. $27 single barrel, 95 proof, $23 full proof, 125 proof. For me, between these, this still remains, the full proof remains clearly my favorite. You've seen me do this a blind against the latest, the Stag. That was interesting because it didn't beat it. But there's a lot of them that it's lost to, and it's lost to most of them, but it's really kind of hung out there with the best. And it just showed that this could really compete. This at 95 proof, they say a single barrel. I don't, taste anything that's unique about this, quite honestly. I think it's okay. I want to kind of give it a few more tries. This may be better comparable to something in the range of a regular Buffalo Trace, 94, that's, the 90 proof. Actually, a Buffalo Trace Kosher, which will absolutely beat this. I know that for a fact, because that's 94 proof. But in any event, point is, I was curious to try it. I see why I kind of wasn't like that thrilled with it. It's okay, but when I think of single barrels, I kind of think of something better. But this remains the standout in this lineup for me, and this will, unless something proves me wrong, well, they just changed the price because I've spoken too much about it. This will remain my one of my top recommendations for the best bang for the buck. So, but you know what? It was worth a shot at $27. I will enjoy this. Maybe try some old fashions with that, and we'll see how it goes. But I was curious to try it. But for me, on the Benchmark line, it's still the full proof. Cheers.